it was like maybe the editors and the publishers were like, see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
No?
I don't know.
Did that go right over your head?
I think it did. Yes. Hey, Carla. Oh, so welcome to What Have You Been Reading?
Yes. Hi.
Oh my God. This is episode 20.
Yes.
And we're still figuring out our intro and outro. So welcome to What Have You Been Reading?
Yes. Hi, I'm Karla.
I'm Alex.
Why does this feel so awkward today?
I don't know.
Honestly,
I'm a little thrown off by my nice background, like by the wall and Jeff's painting. I guess people can't see it, but usually this office is a disaster, so I feel fancier today.
Maybe you'll get there again, though.
I'm sure we will. So yeah, welcome to the podcast where we talk mostly about books and then about a little bit of everything else.
We veer off target.
Yeah, which I love.
So tell me, what have you been? Oh, yeah. Oh my God, we really don't have this. What is happening today? Okay, Alex, please take it away.
We need like a paddle for turns.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe we're just both super excited.
It's episode 20. That's why.
Episode 20. I'm excited because we've had a few new subscribers over the past few weeks, which is exciting. So hopefully you guys are enjoying listening to Carl and I talk over each other.
Yeah.
I'm super excited.
Thank you for hopping on.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys can leave a review or follow us on Instagram at What Have You Been Reading.
Tell us
Carla's going to be.
Yeah.
Are you going to be starting our Facebook?
Yeah. So we were talking about that, and I think that I'm gonna start that page and see if we can entice more people to listen to your steady voice and my turkey voice, and we'll see where this goes.
Did you see Misty's message on Instagram?
I haven't, no.
Let's see if
I was looking at the notifications yesterday. I didn't see anything. Was it more recent than yesterday?
No, it was a few days ago.
What the heck?
Okay. She said, I realized while listening today, when Carla talks, it's like my ADHD. So I totally follow. And when you talk, it's like my ADHD when I'm medicated and I can still follow, just less chaotically.
Oh my God. Oh, that's a little bit embarrassing.
Both worlds, which is pretty great, which we do in our genres and our speaking style.
Shit.
You can choose whether you want to keep that or cut it, but I wanted to share. I thought it was cute.
That's funny. I was actually thinking about like how maybe aside from the sheet notes, like maybe I need to have like my own personal like talking point thing, because like I never seem to finish any thought. But then I didn't do it.
And maybe it takes you out of your Carla-isms, which I love.
Maybe. I mean, maybe we'll lose a little bit of the magic if I do that.
I know. What I'm saying is no one's complaining. I think what we each bring to the table is special to the pod.
Oh man, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Carla, what have you been reading?
Okay, you want me to go first? Okay,
well,
so I'll go first.
I think you read more books than I did.
Okay.
So I think you should start.
So I finished The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo, and it was good. It was very enjoyable, but it felt kind of lengthy at times. And I don't know. I have a little bit.
Do you know what the page count was?
No idea. I have an impatient streak. So like sometimes, well, you know this about me. I'm like, all right, get on with it. Like, wrap it up. So it's about this one young woman who has, like they call it milagritos. They call it little miracles. She has a little streak of magic.
Ooh, the cover for this book is intense.
What is it? Because what if your cover is not the same as my cover? Oh yeah, that is my cover. Okay.
Yeah. So it's got like a hand that looks like a corpse hand with a, what do you say, alacrana, a scorpion?
Yeah.
Crawling out of her hand.
Yeah.
Like wrist.
So it is like a few generations after the Inquisition started.
Ooh.
And like the
400 pages on the
oh, okay,
written
so that's
book.
why I
That is pretty
felt
lengthy. Yeah.
yeah, I felt like we needed to get on with it.
It felt like 400 pages.
Yeah, but it was good. I mean, I liked it throughout the entire story. It's just that I felt like it could be more condensed maybe.
Yeah.
But anywho, so it's about this young woman who has a little bit of magic, but because of the time that she's living in, obviously she can't be like super vocal about it or show it to anybody or anything like that. She is a scullion, and
I'm sorry.
her
I realized I started laundry and I can hear it. So if you can hear like
I can't
washing machine in the background.
I can't hear it. Anywho, so she's a scullion. She does these little things where she sings like burnt bread back to normal.
The
She
scullion.
so she is not a regular maid. It seems like it's even less than a regular
You mean,
maid.
is it a scully maid or a scullion thing?
They call her a scullion.
Okay.
Um, but she's not even the woman who dresses the lady of the house. Like
Okay.
she's the one that has all the calluses on her hands.
Have you watched Trolls?
No.
Because in Trolls, I think there's a Scully maid is one of the characters, one of the troll. Well, not the troll, but the ugly monster people. And she washes the dishes and stuff, and she's in love
Yeah.
with the prince. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think
So
she's a Scully
they're
maid.
the washing people, they're the ones that really like put in like the grunt work. So
A
she's
servant assigned the most menial kitchen tasks.
yeah, there you go.
There you go.
She uh gets kind of caught by her mistress, and the mistress sets a trap for her to like figure out if what she thinks happened actually happened, and she
Okay.
gets caught. She gets caught in the magic, and the lady of the house, the mistress of the house, wants to um she wants to be a social climber.
Mhm.
So she's going to use her as a party trick and invite more important people into her home for dinner so that she can socially climb the ladder,
Got it.
using her as a party trick. So that's like the basis of the story. It goes out of control because somebody takes interest in her and decides to become her patron and puts her in harm's way because of the Inquisition still going on.
Mm.
Um, she can get into a lot of trouble because her magic can be seen as something of the devil instead of a
Mhm.
gift from God. So she
Yeah.
has to walk a very fine line.
It's a slippery slope, isn't it?
Hmm. And so like it was really interesting to see what was going on during those times for people that um basically had to be fake pious, and that kind of sucks. And
Yeah.
then on top of that, her family had been Jewish before and um, had agreed to leave that and become Christian. So she's afraid of being found out as like a previous Jewish person. So there's a little bit of that. She's afraid that she's going to get caught up in that, and that because she has the attention of more powerful people, that they're going to
Mhm.
go back into her lineage and find that she's not who she says she is.
Okay.
So she's got a lot of danger going on, and like at the very
Danger,
beginning,
Will Robinson.
she's in danger. I don't know where that comes from, even though I've heard it from other people. Where is that
It's
from?
the oh God, the family that goes into outer space.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of it.
They just did
I'm
a
gonna.
remake of it. We watched it with the kids. It's called
So
Lost in
then,
Space.
Lost in Space. I've never seen that.
I've only seen the the recent
A
one.
remake. So then it just takes you throughout that. She ends up getting oh, so I was saying that in the beginning I was a little bit annoyed by her because she doesn't have to show her magic. And then she gets goaded into it, and then we see that she wants to show her magic so that she can also socially climb a little bit so that she doesn't have to go back to being a maid.
Yeah.
Um, but like in the very beginning, she's so full of fear that it's like, look, if you're gonna be, and I wrote it down, if you're gonna be a if you're gonna try to be a badass, you also have to be a hard ass. Like
Ooh.
you can't like you can't constantly be like um so full of fear that like you're second guessing all of like every single one of your choices. So
Yeah.
she kind of annoyed me in the beginning, and I even said that like, she's courting disaster, and then she's surprised when
When it
things
comes
happen.
knocking on her
Yeah.
door.
Yeah, exactly. So but thankfully that kind of stopped. She kind of just like, she does what needs to be done, and then we meet that dude, the one that is the scorpion from the cover. So we meet that guy, and he seems like he kind of sucks, but then it turns out that he kind of doesn't.
Is that a
Um,
spoiler that he's the scorpion?
no, that's what
Okay.
people call him.
Oh, okay.
Um, so there is a lot of magic throughout the book. It's very fun. Oh my God. And you know how I love an origin story. We get
Yes.
an origin story. I
Love
love it.
it.
Mwah. And then when you like, you don't expect this book to have this, but get this.
What is it?
There is yearning and longing in this book, and it was delicious. So yeah, it was a fun book to read. I
Okay.
give it 8 out of 10 stars. No, wait,
Four,
yeah, four stars, 4 out of 5 stars.
4 out of 5. Were there any jalapenos?
No jalapenos. Like it. No jalapenos. There's a maybe like a bell pepper with a little bit of dip.
Okay. I like
Um,
that. A little crunchy, a little.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And then there is a scene that's a little bit bloody, maybe,
Okay.
and there is a little bit of torture, but it's not super difficult. Like I think that anybody could get through it.
Was it like
And
The Apprentice is the villain, apprentice to the villain, where it's like
no,
cutesy torture?
somebody gets chopped in half by magic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Just, gross.
Better than
Um,
gnawing on pinkies.
oh yeah, I remember. So thirsty. She
So
gnawed on those
thirsty.
pinkies. Ew. Anyway, so yeah, it was good. I would recommend it if you're down for a book that's long
Yeah.
and that feels long. It doesn't feel short by any means. At one point I did go up to 1.8, um,
Oof. That's
which
pretty fast.
it's pretty fast, but I was
That's
like,
pretty
come
fast.
on. Yeah.
I think I go 1.25.
1.2 is my basic. That's what I always do.
Really? You
Um,
never listen at 1.0, like at regular speed?
not usually, no.
Interesting.
Yeah, I do 1.2.
Listeners, let us know, what is your go-to listening speed on audiobooks?
I
I'm
I
curious.
I noticed that like when I went down to regular speed, I was like, "Oh no, 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 no. No, 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 no,
Well,
no.
there's a
We're
lot
gonna
of
have
like
it."
pauses, right, for like
Yeah.
dramatic
Yeah.
effect and yeah.
But you know
Okay.
what I've noticed in my personal life though? That I get really impatient when I hear people speaking normally now. It's like, can we get to the
Spit it
end
out.
of your fucking sentence?
Are you looking for like the button so that you can
Yes, it's
adjust their
like
speed?
it's like we could have had like a whole conversation in what took it to be. I don't know. It's not good.
Have you
Um,
ever tried to adjust a screen or like zoom into something that's not a screen?
no,
Because
no.
that's like, I think Jeff and I have each had moments where that happens, and then we're like, oh shit, this is this is a piece of paper. You do like the two pinch.
No, but I have seen stuff that's like too small. Like it's, I don't know, whatever, and I need to look closer at it. I've taken a picture of it and like
Yeah.
phoned it up. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Which I think that's normal.
I think
But
that's normal too.
yeah.
I mean, that's
Um,
just clever.
of course,
Smart.
look at us being clever. So, but yeah, 1.2 is my regular, 1.4 is when I want to get through it. I went up to 1.6 for this book, and then I was
Mm.
like, am I ever gonna finish this freaking book? Even though I cared about what happened, I was
Books
like,
like that before too. That's hard. And then
yeah,
there's books like The Will of the Many, which I know I harp on all the time, but that book was big. I mean, it's a
and you
fat,
didn't mind it.
fat book, and it never felt that way.
But I liked this book. I liked
Yeah.
the familiar. I liked it. So, it's a
It just
little,
was a little slow.
yeah. So I did go up to 1.8.
Do you
It
ever
was
feel, Carla, when you're reading books like that you're like, I could have edited this book, like I could have made it better?
sometimes, but not this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like I could have just chopped out a little bit.
Even
Um,
though I'm saying that they should have condensed it, I feel like it was important to the story of what they told you because
yeah.
they need to. It's telling you a story, so
Yeah. You
it's
need
not a
all the
book.
development plot
Yeah,
points.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, tell me, Alex, what have you been reading?
I'm so excited to share this one. So I read The Family Recipe by Carolyn Huynh.
I saw your
She
notes.
is, what's
Yikes!
that?
I saw your notes.
Okay.
Yeah,
What,
that
what are
seems
you?
like a hard book.
No, it was easy. It was great.
Wait, is that the one that has the notes about like?
Yeah, I mean, some topics were heavy, but it's done. So
Yeah.
this was an
Okay.
ARC. It's the publication day is April 1st, 2025. Which did you know, Carla, that books are always published on Tuesdays?
No, like
New
the
books
movies.
always come out on
Wait,
Tuesdays, which I think is an interesting little tidbit. So publication days are always on Tuesdays. Just random.
nice.
I
Okay.
don't know why. I wonder what the origin of that is. But anyhow, if anybody knows, let us know.
I almost
So
said
this
something
is
super inappropriate.
the publisher was always at his mistress's house on Mondays, so it had to be on
No,
Tuesday.
I was like maybe the editors and the publishers were like, see you next Tuesday.
Yeah,
No?
I don't know.
Did that go right over your head?
I think it did. Yes.
Okay.
I missed it. So yeah, this is her second book. Her first book is The Fortunes of Jaded Women, which I think I talked about before. I really enjoyed it. That first one takes place in Orange County, which I think is super
Okay.
cool because it had a lot of familiar places for myself. This one is still very much about Vietnamese family and culture, but it takes place in four different cities. So there's five siblings, and their dad sends them to like they're competing for their inheritance. So the dad owns a chain of banh mi sandwich shops.
Yum.
That and a lot of them like have just fallen into disrepair or have closed. Not all of them are like in working order, but he tells like each of the five kids, he gives them a location. And I think it was Philadelphia, Houston, New Orleans, and San Jose. Oh, so there's four daughters and one son. The son to win the inheritance just has to get married. The four daughters each get a shop, and in order to get the inheritance, they have a year to like make it successful. So that's definitely tapping into like Vietnamese culture or even Hispanic cultures, right? Where the male is like the godson of the family.
Given
So
that you,
there's a lot
yeah.
of resentment and hard feelings from all of the sisters towards the brother, even before this. And they're not a very close or touchy-feely family. Like when they come together to get this information, a lot of them hadn't seen each other in years. There's an absentee mother that ran out on all of them that they haven't seen in like over a decade. But yeah, so each sibling goes to their own city to try to work on their store. And obviously, they're all like pursuing different things in their personal lives. Um, but I loved it. I loved all of those characters. They were all so different.
I have a
And
question.
yes,
Okay, when they're each going to that city, are they being funded in their move.
No, I didn't get the sense that they're like, here's a bunch of money for you to go do this thing. I
Is
don't
the
know where they got the
inheritance
money
worth
for
it?
renovation. I don't know where they got money to do it. Like they all did stuff to the store. And yeah, I don't know where that money came from, but like one of the daughters is super broke, so she's like trying to do this because she really needs the money. So I don't know where she got the money to like flip it, but um and they all have names based on a like a Beatles member. So the names of the siblings are Jane, Bingo, Paulina, Jude, and Georgia.
Bingo.
Yeah. I thought that was so cute. So another fun thing, there was a quote in there that said that would have been too quotidian of her, which takes us back to when we were trying to figure out if that was a word or not, and I was saying it wrong, but it is a word.
How come it didn't come up on Google?
I think I was spelling it wrong. It's Quotidin.
Yeah, but
I was thinking,
when I wrote cotidiano in English, like that's what I
yeah,
wrote.
it didn't come
It
up.
should have come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is a word, which is pretty cool. There's some flashbacks in this story to when the dad and the mom came over from Vietnam as refugees after the Vietnam War. And I found those aspects of the book super interesting
Hmm.
from a historical perspective and seeing how Vietnamese refugees were treated. Obviously, here, no one wanted them around. Everyone thought they were traitors or they were responsible for the war or, for all of the soldiers that we lost in the Vietnam War. And it's being told from their perspective. So you have, I don't know, I love hearing things from that perspective when it's a person experiencing kind of prejudice in these things and it makes you put yourself in their place or in their situation. And then there's a lot of it that takes place on that when it goes back in time. It's in Texas. I forget the name of the town, but apparently the KKK was also heavily involved back then in being super prejudiced and racist against these Vietnamese refugees, which I had no idea about any of that kind of stuff. So it was interesting, I think,
Gross.
from a historical perspective. But there was also some like very light and funny moments. I think the author does a great job of kind of weaving in these very serious topics and then also some pretty heavy family relationship stuff to like light and funny things as well. Oh, there was one good quote. It was talking about the KKK. How strange what freedom meant in this country. How only certain people could wave guns with abandonment without repercussions, even though everyone was allowed to own them.
We still see that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I thought that was a pretty interesting or strong quote. The other thing that I found very interesting, it talks about older Vietnamese people and how they're all hoarders. Not all, but obviously it's a generalization, but how normal it is to go into like an older Vietnamese person's home and see that they have so many things and they can't get rid of anything. And it was because of kind of that PTSD effect from the war of like not having anything, and
Yeah,
being so poor and not having any resources. And now that you're here, and even though you'll never need that, plastic tray again, you can't get rid of it because you might need it tomorrow.
that's rough. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a very good book. It's very, very good. I'm hoping she'll have because she is an Orange County writer, so I'm hoping she'll have some book signings around here. It'd be kind of
Mm,
cool to go and see her.
cool, cool.
Yeah. What else have you been reading, Carla?
Um, I don't know.
You've had a
I
lot.
start, I started reading oh my God, right. So I started reading Human Sacrifices, and this is by Maria Fernanda Ampuero.
Okay.
It's a book of short stories, and I had to stop because I was still and kind of still am within that headspace of like not really wanting anything super duper serious. The book is amazing.
Yeah.
The two short stories that I read were they kind of the, I realized that it deserved better attention, and
Okay.
so I did stop. Um, the first story is about a woman who is an immigrant here, and she has a daughter back home, and she is her rent is coming up. She is freaking out for lack of money. She doesn't know what she's gonna do. She offers her services as a writer.
Okay.
And like if you want the story of your life written, she'll do it. Like she doesn't know what else she can do. Um and she is and I'm just gonna tell you because like I don't know, maybe I won't tell you. I don't know. So basically she offers up her services as a writer. She gets hired by this old man, and it turns out the old man is someone who has a double personality, neither of which are good.
Okay.
Um, Obviously, the personality that she first speaks to is the one who brings in the people, and the personality that comes out once you're within his household is the one that's gonna kill you.
Oh,
So,
fun.
yeah. So, he's a racist. Thinks that immigrants are tarnishing the bloodline, and
Oh,
um, he apparently kills women that are immigrants so that he can prevent that from happening, I guess. I guess. Um, we don't really go that deep into his storyline, except for the fact that this is who he is and this is the kind of man that she is now, um, you know, she's caught in his trap.
mhm.
And the reason that I felt like this was it's not just a creepy story is because it doesn't focus so much on that aspect of the story. It focuses on the desperation that led to her being within that situation.
Okay.
And so that was uh a strong story, I felt like. And then the second story sucked also. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't get nice stories from a book called Human Sacrifices. Um,
True.
so within that story, we're in a country that, and I'm not sure which country it is, but we're within a country that is going through like a political upheaval, and the lower class is just revolting against the middle and upper class.
Okay.
So anybody who has a business is being murdered by their employees.
Ooh.
And the employees are taking over the companies, the plants, the corporations, whatever. Um, so this young child goes and she is with her grandmother. She was
Yeah.
put in grandmother's care by her parents who had a small business that they inherited, and her parents are going to go safeguard the company. So they leave her with a grandmother. There are missionaries that come in, and because they're blonde and because they're white, the little girl sees them and she thinks that if they're within the household that they're going to be okay because like I don't know, like the revolution that's happening within her country, she doesn't think that it would affect them.
Yeah.
So maybe their nearness is also going to be a safeguard to whoever's in the house. And the little girl becomes friends with the maid's daughter, and it just tells you the story of these little girls seeing what's happening, the little girl knowing that something is going on, not really understanding it, um, realizing that her parents have not come back. And you, as a reader, you understand that they've obviously been murdered. And then the missionaries are also seen doing something that is super inappropriate and heard doing something that's super inappropriate. And you, again, as the reader, know that nothing is going to happen because they are in a country where they're going to get away with it. They're going to get to go back to whichever country they came from to spread God's word. And it like after reading that, I was like, I can't keep going on to story number three because I feel like I felt like I felt like it was telling a lot of things to you that deemed deemed more attention because I these things obviously do happen.
Yeah.
You get murdered. People do abuse, their station in life when um so it just felt like a book that I needed to come back to.
Yeah.
So,
I just purchased a book recently. I've had it on my list for a while, and then with everything going on right now, with like
hmm
immigration and stuff, I'm like, oh, I think it's something that I need to move up on my list, and I really want to look at it, like read it. But I think it's the same. It's pretty heavy. It's called Everyone Who Is Gone Is Here by Jonathan Blitzer.
hmm
It came out a while ago, and it's been getting a lot of really great reviews. But I think it might have a little bit of your like the American Dirt scenario, right? Where it's this non-Mexican or Hispanic writer that's writing about immigration and all of these stories, but it's supposed to be really good.
Right.
So I'm really intrigued to read it, but I get the sense that it's going to be very heavy.
So it's fiction.
I think it's a dramatization
Okay.
of things that have happened. It says Jonathan Blitzer dramatizes with forensic, unprecedented reporting the crisis. This crisis is a result of decades of misguided policy and sweeping corruption, brilliantly weaving the stories of Central Americans whose lives have been devastated by chronic political conflict and violence with those of American activists, government officials, and the politicians responsible for the country's tragically tangled immigration policy. He reveals the full layered picture of this vast and unremitting conflict. Tells the epic story of the people whose lives ebb and flow across the border, delving into the heart of American life itself. I can't quite tell if it sounds kind of nonfiction. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, it seems like something that deserves more attention than,
Yeah,
yeah.
and like you're kind of going the opposite way of where I'm going. Like you feel like you need to move it up on your list of things to read, and I'm just like kind of like shying away from it. Like I really just it's gotten to be too much. It's too
Yeah.
much right now. Yeah. So,
We have 3 minutes left.
boo.
I know.
Okay.
Um,
Well, bye guys.
well, hold on.
Please.
I did, because it was so short, I did end up listening to Lovers at the Museum,
Oh, okay.
not Lover in the Museum.
No, don't.
I did post that one on Instagram. I got a couple giggles, I think. By Isabel Allende. You're right. I thought it was super cute. It was very
Did,
short.
did it hit you like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo?
It did. Absolutely. Like, but again, with the short stories, I'm like, I want more. I want to learn more about those people and what happened to them and how that got there. And I want to learn more about the museum and why it was so special and why it had that magicalness to it. But it was cute.
I was sad. I was like, cool, thanks.
But yeah, I'm glad I listened to it. I think it was very cute.
It was super duper cute. So let's say bye.
Yeah, I
We have
forgot
a
to
lot
ask
more
on the
to go.
socials what people were reading, but
Let us know what you guys are reading, and
yeah,
we'll tell everybody about it. Not next time, because we're gonna hopefully go into a second episode right now, but
right now.
the one after, like
Yes,
the episode after.
22, possibly
Yeah.
episode 22. But yeah, leave us a comment, send us a message, let us
Mhm.
know what you've been reading.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right, happy reading,
Bye,
everybody.
guys.
Bye.